Welcome to my channel or my profile or wherever you're seeing this. My name is Madeline Storm Bolton or Maddie. I give myself various nicknames. My blogs get signed off with any variety of my name, whatever I'm feeling that day. I am 29, just turned 29. Last year of my 20s. Not sure how I feel about it, but we're good. I am a graduate of Texas A&M, Gig'em. Got that gold. My husband is also a graduate of Texas A&M. We met in 2017, got engaged in 2018, got married in 2019. We just moved to San Antonio this year for his job. We have 2 cats, Bob Vance and Hinata. It's just funny because Bob Vance is Vance Refrigeration from The Office. So I thought he kind of looked like a bobcat. And then Hinata he's an orange cat, and he's named after Hinata, which is a character from Haikyuu, which is an anime about volleyball. And everyone gets so confused because they're like, Bob and what? Huh? And it's really funny because it happens every time. It's really funny. Our realtor could never get it, and it was super funny. It's like now a joke. So I am posting this video to give you kind of an intro, not only to my channel, but to who I am as a person. I am working on kind of moving my platform from written to video. I've been doing a written blog for 2 years. I started in 2020, I think. It might have been 2019. I don't remember. I've been doing this for 2 or 3 years, writing blogs about books. I am a very large book nerd, and I love reading. I've been reading my whole life, reading before I could read, in the form of siblings and my parents reading books to me. So for as long as I've been alive, books have been a part of it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love books. So that's the main thing I talk about here, that I have talked about, that I will continue to talk about. It's mostly books. Other little things are going to get sprinkled in there, here and there. And sometimes I'll go off on, I don't want to say tangents, but I'll go off on tangents about specific topics brought up in books. The one that is probably going to present itself the most is mental health. I have a very big heart for mental health and those struggling with it. There's a big long story there that we're just not going to touch with full today. So books are a large part of who I am as a person. They're what I like to do with a lot of my free time. If I'm not reading, my other go-to is I really like to watch Asian dramas, specifically Chinese dramas. They're the best in my opinion. Having watched many, Chinese ones are the best. I want to learn Mandarin. It's a goal. You don't necessarily need to explain why you like your hobbies or why you have them, but I want to. I want you to know my thought process, why I do what I do, why I pick what I pick, and all of that going into that. So I read mostly YA fiction. I choose YA over adult because I don't like explicit books. I don't. I find them frustrating, and that often isn't necessary, and it just takes away from the story, and I get really annoyed. So YA tends to be a little bit more PG-13 and less R. So we stick with YA often. I still read some. I obviously read things outside of this genre. That's just my main one. I read some adult fiction, some nonfiction, things like that. But YA fiction is kind of my norm. To kind of give you my current top books. Somebody the other day tried to ask me what my favorite book was, and I was like, you don't have one favorite book. Or I'm sure there are people that do, but I would say rarely. It depends on what you're reading at the time. It depends on kind of how you're feeling. It depends on, for the longest time, Ella Enchanted was my favorite book. And then eventually I got into my 20s and I was like, I've kind of outgrown this. I don't think I can call it my favorite book anymore. So I don't, but I call it one of my favorite books from my childhood. Now, kind of the first 3 books that just pop into my mind when I think books that I love are Goose Girl by Shannon Hale, The Host by Stephanie Meyer, and A Countess Below Stairs by Ibbotson. I do not know how to say her name. I'm sure I'm butchering it. But those are all YA fiction. Super good, super cute. I'm obsessed with all three of them. So I read YA fiction because it's safe in terms of content, not just explicit versus not explicit, but also in topics. They can talk about things like mental health, and while it can be like good and helpful and start a conversation, it doesn't get so deep that you lose yourself in it. And while I've never read an adult fiction book that was so dark that I got lost in it, there's kind of a reason for that, because I always feel like it's hyperbolic, and I feel like, why is imposter syndrome such a thing for our generation? Like, why? Because I love books, but I feel like because I don't read hundreds of books every year, I can't say that I love books, because that doesn't mean I truly love books. And I can't say that. What I want to say is, like, I'm an empathetic person. I'm a super empathetic person, to the point where you don't even need to tell me what you're feeling. I can often feel what you're feeling, and I just feel that thing. It's literally the same with fictional characters. The books that I read, the shows that I watch, the movies that I watch, all of it, I have to be so cautious about the things that I take in, because I get so affected. It doesn't matter that they're fictional. It doesn't matter that this is all, made up, not real. I can know that it's not real, but if they're experiencing things, I am also experiencing those things. And so I have to be cautious about the things that I let into my life, because they can have a really, really, really large effect on not just my everyday, but just my overall mental well-being. There's been a handful of books that have just completely wrecked me. There's books that they even ended well, but the road to get there was so rough. I can't think about them without my heart hurting. Ugh. Maybe one day I'll talk about all the books that have hurt my soul. You'll get little, if you go back and read my blogs, there are comments here and there about, I don't like this book, I didn't read, or no, I didn't read it. I don't like this book, so don't read it. I have a handful of things in there. So that is why I mostly stick to YA fiction. It's safe across every category. But I still get I love my cute stories. I love getting my couple together. I have discovered I tend to like fantasy slightly more than one set in reality, because it gives me another step back in terms of emotions and realness. If it's this fictional world that does not exist, if somebody dies, something horrible happens, it's fictional. This isn't in any way resembling my world. This isn't some city that I can go look up on a map. It's completely fictional. Completely fictional. The names, the places, everything. If it's set in the real world, even though it's fictional, that place exists. They can be really, really good, and they can still wreck me way harder if they're set in the real world. I do still read lots of books set in the real world and not fictitious worlds. Of the three that I mentioned, The Host is set in a dystopian future, and then A Countess Below Stairs is just purely fiction, historical fiction in our world. That's how I pick what I pick. That's why I pick what I pick. So if these are the kind of things that interest you, you come to the right place. If you are looking for fun, good, safe content, but still meaningful, hopefully you found your home here. I love being able to give suggestions. I love being able to reiterate just how these books make me feel and why you should read them, why they're good, why they'll make you feel good. That is the Maddie guarantee, unless I say specifically otherwise. Everything I suggest will have a happy ending. Straight up. That's the Maddie guarantee. If I am saying you should read this book, he's gonna be happy. The couple's gonna end up together. It's gonna be fine. Like I said, I've been doing this for a couple of years now. I've been writing about books for a couple of years, and I'm making the transition to this platform from written word to a video, which I gotta say is a lot scarier. It's a lot more out of my comfort zone for a plethora of reasons. Even though you can still edit a video, it's hard to see myself on screen. It's hard to look at the camera and not just like want to wander off or close my eyes because that's safer, but look at the camera. But I'm doing this for a few reasons. One, I don't know, I just been feeling like it's what I'm supposed to be moving towards another avenue, and this kind of just felt like the right one. So I was like, why not try it out? So for the month of December, I will be posting a video every single Wednesday. This one will go up first. It's actually technically on the 30th of November. So we're gonna get 5 videos in a row, and based on how those do, it'll affect how many videos I do going forward. You know, if they do decently well, then I'll probably try to keep up one a week. If not, or if I don't have the time, I will go to every other week, which is how my blog is. I post a blog every other week. That's who I am. That's why I read what I read. That's how I pick what I read. That's the Maddie guarantee you get with all of my books. More than anything, I know how isolating this world can feel. I know how overwhelming and stressful and confusing this world can feel. I have had a honestly very sheltered, wonderful life, but I've definitely gone through hardships. I know what it's like to hurt, and I know what it's like to be seeking so desperately for something, anyone to talk to get encouragement from, to kind of just see yourself in. And so I want to be that for others, even if it's one person that gets love and encouragement through this video, then it's all worth it. All of the awkwardness I feel sitting here in front of the camera, all of the overthinking of the ring light in my glasses and my background and my hair, and I don't wear makeup on a regular basis, so I'm not wearing makeup for my videos because I don't feel like that's authentic, because I don't wear makeup on a regular basis. I wear makeup for specific events like graduations, weddings, sometimes for church, sometimes not. It kind of just depends on how much sleep I get. We're working past the overthinking just to get here and to say, hey, I love reading. If you love reading, I would love for you to watch. I'd love for you to read my blogs. I'd love for you to just be here and be a part of this. Like I said, for December, I'm going to be putting up a video every single Wednesday. I'm very excited about it. Also very nervous about it. Just because I watch a lot of content creators on YouTube, and one of the things I like to do is if I get really into somebody, I like to watch literally every single one of their videos, and I go back to their very first videos, and it's just kind of funny and cool to see how far they've come. And this is going to be that video that I will go back to and go, what were you thinking? Well, why did you keep talking? You should have stopped here. You made the video too long. You rambled too much. But I watch those creators, all of their videos, for a reason, because I like what they have to say. I like the content that they put out. I like, what they're creating. It adds value to my life. And that's what I'm hoping to do here. I understand that YouTube can be really cluttered. I understand that there are a lot of suggestions, lots of videos uploaded literally every single day. You can't watch all of them. So I understand that this platform is getting cluttered, that there's lots of people talking at a camera and wanting people to listen. But I'm hoping that, and it's one of those things that even if I in no way expect this to become some super huge blow up whatever, because that's not why I want to do it. I want to do it because I love talking about books. But I struggle to talk to people. I struggle to feel like what I have to say adds value to the world. Again, our generation has lots of issues. I'm a millennial. Intrusive thoughts is one of the real rough ones. And so for me, I am a natural introvert. I can get overwhelmed in large crowds, and so I often just don't talk. Even if I want to say something, even if I have something to add to the conversation, I just won't talk because I'm thinking, why bother? And that's not good or right or okay. And I don't want you to think that either. So as much as this is to, put myself out there and to talk about books, it's also to remind myself that I have value. My words have value, my thoughts have value, because it's really, really easy to feel like it doesn't, especially in such a large world with a lot of really loud voices. Not that those voices are bad, they're just louder, and it can be hard to want to willingly put yourself there. So, who I am, what I read, why I read what I read, and why I'm switching to this platform. Like I said, I'm still going to be posting blogs, but we're going to be switching or adding videos in and just kind of see how that goes. Maybe it'll just be therapeutic and it'll be a good time for me to just enjoy another artistic avenue. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say with this video. I do want to give a very quick, you should know this. So my shirt, it says, "Please stay." It's Try Love on Her Arms, which is an organization I love and feel very strongly and passionately about. They help with getting resources to people with mental health issues and addictions. And they're really awesome. I've been following them for over a decade, and they're really cool. I own lots of stuff by them, and I got a very large haul for my birthday because I wanted to. And this is one of them. So I just wanted to give them a quick shout out because I think they're awesome. I've been on this earth for almost 3 decades. And like I said, I've lived a pretty sheltered life, but it's had its hard moments. And if you'll stick with me, we'll talk about it. Not just for me to talk about myself, but because I want you to talk about it. I want you to feel like you can talk about the hard moments. Even though the hard moments they're not fun to say, they're not fun to listen to, but they are so important. They matter because you matter, your experiences matter. And you need to know that. So, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I hope it added to your day. I hope that you feel loved and encouraged, even in some small way, because that's my goal, is people who have a hard time speaking, making themselves known, taking up space in a room, knowing that you can do that and that you should do that because you matter so much. So, with that, I would just like to say, I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great night, a great week, a great weekend, a great month, a great year. All the greats. I hope you have all of them because you are truly worthy and deserving of it. So, until next time. Add some time for editing.